Hello there, Annie. My name is Grace Wallace and I'm from Blind Aid. Your mother called us as you might need some extra help in your new apartment. May I come in?
Oh, my mother never said anything, but I know Blind Aid is reliable. They tried to get me a dog when I was younger, but I'm allergic, so come on in. Take a seat, Grace. I'm sorry if it's a mess. I only arrived yesterday. My mother had to leave for a business trip and left me to sort it out, but evidently it was easier said than done.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm here to help with all those bits and bobs. Nothing to worry about when I'm here. Can I make you some tea?
Oh yes, of course, that would be nice. I don't really know the floor plan yet, so it might be best if you do that.
Annie had never been a shy girl. However, she found it difficult to keep friendships. Many different teachers had homeschooled her all her life, and had never been around people of her own age for more than a few hours. She found it difficult to connect to people who were, well, normal to her. She couldn't watch TV, go to the cinema without having other things in the way. No matter how many people she was around, she always felt a tiny bit alone.
Sugar and milk?
2 sugars and a splash of milk, please. So, how many days has my mother asked you to come see me for? I'm okay most of the time, it's just because it's a new place.
I can visit however much you want me. I am here to help always, Annie. I can tell that we will be good friends.
I'll only need you this week. By then, hopefully I'll be all sorted and ready for independent life. I think my mother's quite nervous. This is my first time living alone. She's always been worried for me, even when I was living with her. I don't understand why she would have asked for extra help though. Maybe because of that business trip? Oh well, you're here now, and I am quite grateful. I won't lie to you. Thank you. This tea is delicious. Thank you.
No problem.
The next afternoon, Annie and Grace got to know each other. They spoke about their interests, such as books they enjoyed to read, music they enjoyed to listen to. It was a pleasant afternoon.
So, do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? I don't judge.
I used to have a boyfriend. I loved him with all my heart, but he did not.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Breakups can be tough. They aren't something to be taken lightly. But it's always better to have someone to talk to, I think. Getting it off your chest makes it better. If you ever need to talk about it or...
I don't want to speak about him, ever again.
I will not think of that cruel man. He doesn't deserve anything or anyone to even think of him. He disgusts me. Just the thought of him leaves a foul taste in my mouth. He is nothing to me and I was nothing to him.
The room went silent, and Annie decided it would be best to not say anything about this ex-boyfriend ever again. Grace seemed very sour about the matter. It was evident from the poisonous way she spoke of him. They were strong words of hate, and Annie didn't want to offend her any more than she probably had.
Sorry, I won't ask again. I was prying too much.
Is there anything I can start to get on with? Shall I unpack some of these boxes?
Thank you for all the help today. I'm sure the house is looking great. It's starting to become my home now. All thanks to you.
Anything to help, Annie. I can tell that you're going to treat this apartment wonderfully. If you need any more help, give me a call. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, Grace. Get home safe. Oh, wait. I didn't get your number.
But Grace was already gone. There was no sense that anyone was in that corridor, other than the cool breeze coming down the corridor from the window down the hall. Annie shrugged her shoulders and then closed the door and locked it with the latch.
Would you like me to order a takeaway for you this evening, Annie? I think you deserve the night off.
I think that's a good idea, actually. I think I fancy Chinese. What do you want?
Oh no, I won't be eating, but thank you.
Come on, please stay. You have helped me so much today. That bathroom was grim until you helped me out.
No. I think I might just get home, actually.
Come on, please. I don't.
Everything was silent. The sudden change in Grace's voice and the rise in the tension was felt between the two new friends. Annie was reluctant at what to do. She decided she needed to get out of this situation. Grace had sounded like a totally different person, something horrifying and full of hatred. It chilled Annie how fast things had changed. She got up from the table and walked to the kitchen counters, where suddenly...
Grace, help me! My leg! Something's happened to my leg! Help! Grace, help me! My leg! I'm in pain! Please help me! Grace, help me! My leg! Please help me! Where are you? Why aren't you helping me? Grace!
Grace didn't reply. Annie moved down her leg to her left knee and touched the wet blood that was now seeping down her leg. Annie felt hot, as though she was going to faint. Why was Grace not there to help her? Had she really upset her so much that she wouldn't help her injured friend? Annie felt her body start to weaken, and she fainted back onto the kitchen floor, going into a deep, deep sleep. Annie returned home from the hospital, her leg bandaged and in pain. She had no idea how she got to the hospital. The details were foggy. She limped back to her bedroom, using her finger against the wall to guide her, and then fell into her bed. All the while she thought about Grace and why she hadn't helped her, how she had just left her alone. Annie decided that the best thing to do was to get some sleep, so she turned over and tried to forget about the events of the day. That night, Annie was awoken. Maybe it was the pain in her leg, the anger she felt towards her friend, or maybe the strange sense that she was being watched. Was someone at the end of her bed?
Hello? Hello, is someone there?
No one replies to her questions. Of course they don't, she tells herself. No one is in your room or your house except yourself. She sat laid back down and covered herself in the duvet and tried to fall asleep. All the while, however, for almost the first time ever, she never got the sense that she was totally alone.
Annie, are you awake?
Oh my God, Grace, what are you doing in my flat?
Good morning, Annie.
Don't good morning me. What happened yesterday? You left me. Why did you leave me?
I'm sorry, Annie. I really am. I'm not good with blood, and I just panicked, and I didn't know what to do. Can you forgive me?
Forgive you? For letting someone you are supposed to be looking after almost bleed out to death in their own kitchen? Do you know what that feels like? How scary and alone you feel?
I do. It was horrible. It must have been horrible for you. Not for me. It hasn't happened to me. I am so truly sorry. I hope that your leg gets better soon. Can I make you a nice cup of tea as an apology?
Annie felt confused. Maybe she had been a bit brash towards Grace. Maybe she was bad with blood and she couldn't help that. Maybe she did want to help, but something inside her stopped her from doing it. She let out a sigh.
Okay, a cup of tea would be nice. Thanks, Grace.
Days rolled on, and everything seemed to be back to normal. Annie's leg had begun to heal, although it was still rather painful, and Grace had become a carer and a friend for Annie. But since that day, Annie felt there was something quite not right about Grace. She couldn't put her finger on it, but there was something that was wrong, something that had changed. And indeed, something was definitely wrong, and something had definitely changed. Grace's life and joyous attitude seemed to disappear. She would talk less and less to Annie. Their conversations began to become dry and one-worded. Grace's mood swings were becoming more obvious. One minute she was full on melancholy, the next she was spitting poisonous words.
This dishwasher is broken. It's nothing but a pile of junk. Why is this sofa never comfy? It never used to be like this. Why does the sun never shine anymore?
Grace was becoming more and more bitter as the days rolled on. Annie didn't want to add fuel to the fire. so mostly tried to keep her distance. Why didn't Grace just leave? Annie would think to herself. There is nothing keeping her stuck here in this god-forsaken flat.
Grace? Grace, what was that? Are you okay? It sounds like a car just crashed in the kitchen.
Grace did not reply.
Grace, I'm coming in. Don't move, I'm coming to help you. Grace, are you there? Are you okay?
Annie was met with yet another silence. That's when suddenly she got the feeling of being watched. The same feeling she had the other night. A chill washed over her body and her heart began to beat faster, not knowing what had happened in the kitchen. Annie scanned the kitchen floor again, left to right, left to right. She was shocked to feel that the floor was completely clear, just as it had been left the last time she was there. All was well? What was the noise? The noise that clattered through the hallways of the small apartment where Grace and Annie had first met.
Grace, are you still there? Please don't hide from me. Alexa, call Grace.
There is no Grace in your contacts.
Alexa, call Grace now.
There is no Grace in your contacts.
That's right, she never gave me her number, did she? What is going on? Alexa, call Mum.
Calling Mum.
Hello-y. How are you doing, Annie? Sorry I haven't called. Work is keeping me so busy. How's the leg,
Mum,
sweetheart?
what's Grace's number? She just ran out on me and I'm really worried about her.
Grace? Is that a new friend? Does she live in your apartment?
No, Mum, Grace from Blind Aid, the one you sent to help me, remember?
Remember what, darling?
Grace from Blind Aid. She told me you sent her to give me help whilst moving in. The care assistant. Come on, Mum.
Look, Annie, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't call Blind Aid. I don't know anyone called Grace. Stop raising your voice at me like that. I know you don't live with me anymore, but that doesn't mean...
Annie was frozen. She was shocked and stunned, and a black, sickly pit formed in her stomach. She felt sick. Who was Grace if not the woman from Blind Aid? Who was the woman that made her 20 cups of tea a day? The woman who left her friend alone in her time of need? Was she a stalker? She was surely a fraud. Was Grace even real? Or was Annie going mad?
Grace, is that you?
Oh, hello, dear. I'm Mary from number 2. I just wanted to come introduce myself to my new neighbour.
Oh, sorry. I thought you might have been someone else. I'm Annie. Nice to meet you. Would you like to come in?
Oh, yes, please. And pardon my intrusion, but was it Grace you said?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, did you know her? It was so sad what happened to her. We had known something had been going on for a while, but never anything that bad.
I'm sorry. I'm confused. Come again?
Grace Wallace, the woman who used to live here? You said her name, so I assumed you were a friend of hers. Terrible what happened to her.
What are you talking about? A woman called Grace Wallace used to live here before me.
I'll clue you in on the story, chick. Quite grim, mind, but you've got me started now. She was in a very abusive relationship, although none of us had any idea about that. We knew they argued, but it was always quite one-sided. Her boyfriend came round one night about dusk time and, well, some arguments started and he, well, killed her. He got so angry and worked up that he smashed her head against the kitchen cupboards. Oh, it was a racket, apparently, and just left her to die there, to bleed to death. He couldn't leave fast enough, and Derek from number 4 tried his best to catch him, but it was too late. It was too late for Grace too. She died right there in the kitchen, but she never got justice. Very sad story. She was a wonderful girl. Oh, made the best cups of tea. I hope I haven't scared you too much, dear. It was a few years ago now, but it is haunting.
Annie, are you there?